lonely beginning. He was small, about the size of a shoebox. It made the dogs in their crates whine and stop barking. She didn't seem to hear them at all. She just kept walking. She wasn't looking for a dog to join her family. She was looking for a friend. And Scruffy, he didn't want to scare her. But instead of running away from her, he wanted to run to her. For a long moment, they just sat there. She didn't say anything. He didn't bark. As they drove home, he sat in the passenger seat. He sniffed around cautiously, ears perked, ready to run if he needed to. His eyes darted to every corner, watching, waiting, wondering. But there was nowhere to go in this new house. He was safe. Slowly, he began to relax. In the first few weeks, he didn't play much, not like other puppies. He didn't bark or chew on toys. He mostly just watched from the sidelines, still a bit nervous, still unsure if this new life was real or if he would be abandoned again. She never forced him to do anything, though. She let him come to her, to his new home, to his new life. From that day on, their lives were filled with new routines. Morning walks became a ritual, couch snuggles, a sacred moment. And soon he was following her everywhere, like a shadow, like a friend, like a loyal dog who loved his human. He had reminded her that even in the darkest of nights, the sun will always shine again. And for that, she would love him forever. He didn't make a sound, didn't move much, didn't eat any treats. He wasn't perfect, but he was hers. And that was all that mattered. She never punished him for being scared, never yelled at him for being nervous. She understood. And somehow that made it easier for him to understand her too. All he did was stare out the window, taking in the passing scenery. It wasn't a frightened yelp or a scared squeal. It was a real bark, an excited bark. And there he was on the floor, tail wagging like crazy, holding one of her shoes in his mouth. She laughed, a sound he loved already. And that's when he dropped the shoe and barked again. Thunder crashed, lightning flashed, and the old dog trembled on the couch beside her. Then, before she knew it, he was climbing on the couch and pushing his head against her leg, whimpering softly. Suddenly, he jumped up and placed his head on her lap. She stroked his fur, burying her face in his neck. And that's when it hit her. This was the same dog who had been at the shelter, the one no one wanted, the one she had saved. And in saving him, he had saved her too. It was like the world was a new place, and he was seeing it for the first time. The houses seemed softer, the trees friendlier, the birds happier. And somewhere deep inside him, he felt the same way. It was almost scary how well he understood her silence. He knew that she was waiting for him to make the first move, waiting for him to show her that he trusted her. With fur matted and dirty from living outside, the tiny dog was afraid of everything, especially people. When someone came close to his shelter crate, the moment he stepped out, he felt brave. He trotted toward the woman, tail wagging, and licked her hand. That was all it took. She knelt down and hugged him tight. Finally, he was seen. Finally, he was loved. He would flinch and cower. It broke the volunteers' hearts to see how scared he was. But they knew it wasn't because he was aggressive or mean. He just wanted to be left alone. They didn't know what kind of life he'd had, but it hadn't been a good one. No one wanted to adopt him. Then she went into the other room and came back with a blanket. She laid it gently on the floor, and he crept closer to it, sniffing it slowly. It smelled like her, like home. After a while, she left again, and this time came back with an old sweater. She laid it next to the blanket, and he crawled on top of it, burying his nose in the fabric. He could smell where she had been, the places she had been to, the things she had done. And it was all so comforting. People came to the shelter looking for cute puppies or friendly dogs, not a small, skittish ball of fur who seemed invisible to most. He watched as at first He thought she was going to reach in and pet him, and he tried to move away from her touch. When he first saw the woman, he thought she was like all the others. She would pick up a dog and then put it back down, choosing another one instead. He knew what that meant. She wouldn't choose him. No one ever did. But when she sat down in front of his cage without reaching in or making a sound, he felt something stir inside of him. Maybe this woman was different. Maybe she could see him. Maybe she could see the good in him, the playful puppy hiding beneath his fear. But then he realized she wasn't reaching in at all. She was just sitting there, looking at him. And for the first time since he'd been at the shelter, someone was looking at him, and he wasn't invisible. One puppy after another got adopted until he was the only one left in his litter. Weeks went by, and still no one wanted him. It made him wonder if he'd ever get out of the shelter alive. Then one morning, a woman walked in. Passed over again and again. The woman strolled past the rows of barking dogs, not even looking at them. She stopped in front of his crate and just stood there quietly. One special visitor. He tilted his head and wagged his tail slightly, trying to show her that he was friendly. After a while, she stood up and the shelter worker opened his cage. The ride home. The first night. That night, when she first brought him into the house, he was a bit unsure. At first, he curled up in a corner, shivering slightly. It wasn't until much later that he realized she had been giving him her scent. She was marking him as hers, and it was the best feeling in the world. Slow healing. Every day, though, he felt himself getting braver. Every day he stayed a little closer, sat a little nearer, trusted a little more. Then one day, she woke up to the sound of a bark. A breakthrough moment. She never imagined when she adopted him that he would become her main reason for living, that he would love her as much as she loved him. Love returned. One night, a thunderstorm raged outside. He had saved her from forgetting that love could be fierce and loyal, unconditional and true.